So let's talk about BONELABs, or BONELAB as it should be called technically, and my ideas or my input on the game itself. In general, I think it's a pretty well-made VR game. You know, there's nothing per se wrong with it. Um, it's a little hard probably for people who've not done a lot of VR gaming. You know, especially with some of the things they want you to do in it. You know, I could see how a lot of people might get motion sick if it's their first time trying to play it, if they're not used to VR, if they don't have their quote unquote VR legs. Um, it's a lot better in terms of the physics than in BoneWorks. Bone Labs seems to be much more refined in the way you can move, grab, touch, all of it. Even the mesh seems to be a bit better in terms of how your character meshes to the, to your avatar. And I honestly enjoy that quite a bit. I think a lot of that's to do with the most recent update, though, they gave the game. So I don't know if it was like this when it first came out a couple years ago. Uh, the story's pretty straightforward. You know, I mean, it's from what I can grasp, it's like some kind of war between people that want to control the VR space and people that don't want to, and how there's like this land that is just it's just NPCs, I think. I really don't get what exactly is inhabiting Fantasyland, if it's people or NPCs or a mixture of both. I don't get it 100%. Um, but in general, you know, it's something to entertain yourself with. If you want to play the story mode, it's really good for a short little 3-4 hour romp. Probably finish it quicker if you just sped through it without exploring. You know, even I missed some things just doing my little playthrough. You know, so there's that. Uh, really where this game shines, I think, is the modding. You know, you can mod stuff very well. There's a really big community for modding. It's super easy to mod. You know, there's tons of stuff you can do. You can role play. You can set up your own little scenarios. You can explore custom maps, which I'm going to be putting some of that stuff on the footage in the background. Lots of things you can do, and there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, like as long as you can create your own fun. You know, I don't think there's any multiplayer capability unless you mod it into the game. I think there's a way to play it multiplayer with a mod, just kind of like H3 VR. You know, horseshoes, hand grenades, all that. You can mod multiplayer into that. I play that with my friend quite a bit sometimes. Overall, I don't think there's anything wrong with this VR game. I can see where the negative reviews come from because there's some jank. You know, I've got issues with some of the missions. You know, some of the load-in screens. I think I had to do mine dive 3 or 4 times before it actually let me go on to the next part of the story slash, you know, whatever you want to call it, into the next scene. And once I was in there, you know, everything seemed to work pretty fine. I think that was the only scene that I was having issues on, was mine dive. I don't think any of the other scenes had major issues. There was some physics jank in terms of, you know, my weapon to get stuck in things. I might get stuck in things. Overall, though, it's pretty minimal. Nothing like game breaking, at least that I could experience past the having to redo the fucking stupid mine dive over and over again. It was really fun the first time, but oh my god, did it not become fun the second, third, or fourth time I had to do it. Unsufferable. I think the last one I just rode in the goddamn cart and just sat there because honestly, it's really fun the first time, and then it's not fun any other time past it. I feel like it's probably out of all the levels my least favorite. You know, it's a really cool aesthetic to show off how, you know, you can move in a cart and do things on a rail in their game, but it is what it is. You know, all in all, I can see that it's a game worth buying, but maybe on sale. You know, that's probably my conclusion from a lot of this, from this whole game, this whole experience in general. You know, unless you're really heavy into modding stuff and creating custom content with mods and making little skits or shorts, I really don't see a huge replay value. I mean, there's probably, there is quite a few collectibles and like things to 100% the game. If you're an achievement hunter, if you're trying to get everything done and that's what you want, then this isn't a bad game for that either. Honestly, I think that if you like BoneWorks, you'll probably like BoneLabs. I think they're very comparable games, except the biggest fault with BoneWorks that I really didn't like for that one was I felt like I was a wet noodle. You know, I'd try to be breaking stuff and swinging as hard as I can, and I'd lose momentum because they didn't have the two-handed swinging calibrated very well. But all in all, I mean, I think this is a much better improvement, and I enjoyed it. And I would like to hear anyone that watches this video's thoughts. You know, share some comments. Tell me what you think about the game. I'll conversate back and forth. You know, I'm relatively regularly checking my comments and seeing what's going on. You know, I will respond as soon as I can. And I would just love to hear anyone's thoughts on this game. You know, I know there's a lot of positive and a lot of negative. And I want to know what everyone's thoughts are on that, you know. Instead of just skimming through Steam reviews, I'd like to interact with some and really, you know, pick some brains if anyone wants to talk and tell me what they feel about BONELABs. I'd love to know. So I'm going to leave this here, I think. I don't think I'm going to do any more commentary. There might be some video in the background showing what I was doing for a while on one of the modded maps. But that's that. And I hope if you watch this, you have a great day, you enjoy. And if you would, maybe leave a like and a sub. I will be trying to do more of this at a better quality as things go on. Please forgive me. This is my first voiceover doing a review this way. If it's not great, I am sorry.
Deadpool he just wants some chimichangas. So I think we're going to go to the 7-Eleven, see if they got any chimichangas in stock. You know? Hey, what's up, guys? You guys here for chimichangas too? Chimichangas. Chimichangas? Chimichangas? No chimichangas. You know what that means? Everyone. Oh, I suck. Deadpool's not on point today. Oh, bulletproof? What the fuck? No chimichangas today, huh? That saddens Deadpool.